But moving on into some more serious chat, boys.
Mm.
Here's what I saw. It's been hot on the press. The US and their beef. Australia's opened the export back up for it.
Yeah, they've lifted the ban. I don't know. Is that a smart move from the Albanese?
Look, I think it has its pros and cons. So, for those of you that don't know much about the trade that Australia and America had with their beef, was I think it was back in 2003 they banned the import of American beef, and that was because of foot and mouth disease and mad cow.
Mm.
So, those of you that don't know about that, so mad cow disease is a brain disease that cattle get, and then it can be transferred to humans via consumption of that meat. And then what that does is it sort of slowly dies your brain away to a point where you don't really remember anything. You struggle to walk, and it's something you don't really want to get.
It's also something we don't want in our beef.
Definitely. And Australia's got the most cleanest beef. And then you've got your foot and mouth disease. Well, that's just a very fast spreading cattle disease that runs in them that you don't want in your country either, because that makes cattle very, very extremely sick. And I think foot and mouth speaks for itself, self-explanatory in that. So it was through the Canadian and the Mexican beef that America were getting as well. And then
they didn't have the best or the strictest regime of tracing back where their beef come from and whether it come from an area of
that's right
of that environment. So that's why Australia was like, nope.
Yeah. So I think it was 2019 they opened it back up, but with restrictions. So nothing coming from Canada and Mexico can then go via there to Australia and so forth. So the government's just opened it back up. America was slapping with the old tariffs, and
it's put some pressure on.
Yeah, they've opened it back up, so they're allowing it in. But they do say that they have very strict and top notch duties of the care of the meat that's coming in here. So it's like definitely not going to be any of that. So they say.
What I don't like is old mate Albanese or whoever the main follower is he's like, oh, there's a low chance. Like they're not saying no chance.
There's a chance of everything, right? You know, you can come in on someone's boot on the airplane, you know what I mean? There's always going to be a chance.
100%. And human error is something that you can never take out of a factor of anything.
Which is what I'm worried about. You pay the right little cow inspector and he's like, no, that cow doesn't look like it's mad. And then next minute we're fucked because we're one of the big world contenders for exporting beef. Like it's a big deal for us.
The thing that I do think is a pro from it is cattle beef prices to American beef prices. Let's just talk from out of the paddock right now to the buyer. Is America's cattle is worth about double to what Australia's is, right? So it's sort of going to expose these big time, let's just say abattoirs and that, because if America can buy, they can kill, they can cut it all up, freeze it, ship it over here and then be able to contend with the American prices of beef, then you know that these guys here are just taking us for a ride when it comes to cattle prices.
From my point of view, I thought maybe like obviously I'm biased as like we have the best meat.
100%. Well, we got the cleanest beef too.
Exactly. The way I can see it is maybe like you get like them fancy restaurants that want to advertise, like how you see that Japanese Wagyu A5, you know what I mean? They advertise that. Maybe some restaurants want to advertise, oh, we've got American grass-fed beef or whatever it may be. Maybe, but I don't see Australians.
I think it's more going to go like with that trade, and that it's more going to be going to big buyers.
Yeah.
So supermarkets.
That's what I mean.
Big wholesalers.
But they'll advertise it as that this is American grown beef.
Yeah.
I reckon the average Aussie, the average Australian, isn't going to be lining up to buy American meat. So I think from a buyer's point of view, Australia has done this to potentially give them the opportunity to lower the tariffs. So
Well, yeah, two lot
Yeah.
tariffs,
but
and-
there's been no promise, which is a little bit. Ugh.
yeah, but you know they bring it in, like we said, the people that don't support it, you don't have to support it, and I don't think anyone should really support it, in my opinion.
Mm.
You know, Australia, support your homegrown, and it's pretty easy in these situations. Buy from your local butcher.
Yeah, we've said it a million times, and we'll say it a million more. Support the little man. Support
Yeah.
your country.
Don't go to the supermarket and buy beef. You know that if you want the cleanest meat, you're going to go to the butcher anyway.
Exactly.
You're supporting the little people. You grow that industry more, and you know them big companies will figure out, well, it's costing us money, and we're not selling our product, so we'll just turn back and go with the Australian, and that's just going to boost the economy, boost the prices, and help all the farmers out instead of them just getting ripped off. You know what I mean?
The little man in the community is who supports the community. When it all goes to shit, the big dogs, they bugger off. So yeah.
Well,
Support the little man.
Well, 100%. Look at that. Throw it back to when we're getting all the bacon. We We're talking to our butcher. Hey, brought it to him. He threw it back on the table to us. And look what we come out with all the different types of bacon we had. You don't get that no supermarket.
Yeah, you went into Coles or Woolies, they'd be like, nah, bud. It's
Yeah,
there on
And
the deli.
You want fresh tasting meat. You can tell the difference. I can guarantee you, if anyone got a supermarket steak and a butcher steak and cooked them up for me, I'd be able to pick which one is which.
Oh, 100%.
The meat's tastier, it's better, it's fresher, and
They
That's-
pump it all with all that shit.
yes. And why are you going to want to do that? Buy beef coming from another country when the meat is not fresh. We all I think everyone knows how long it takes for a boat.
Mm.
Like you expect, like you're shipping containers to get from one country to another. You look like they're on the water for 30 days straight, but you know we're probably 14 days on the water. Whereas most butchers are hanging them and chopping them straight up and
Yeah.
putting them straight on the shelf.
Yeah, they're not putting no rump
They're not
steaks
going
in
on
business
yeah,
class.
they're not going on no trucks
No.
out to wherever they're going and all that jazz. But yeah,
Mm.
so I think moral of that story: pros and cons. Hopefully, it boosts the economy, fixes gets the price up more, and people support the local butchers. And
Keep selling our cows and lowering
You gotta
the
have that
tariffs.
tone.